a lot of things happen. Even I already delivered the albums also. My cost itself was very high at the time, like every event, engagement, wedding, they have a lot of events, everything that comes with the album, also pre-wedding, videos, photo, everything. It was very big sum of money. And we are having some issues, started to post on social media and all these things. She was like having, and then what happened? After few months, I got to know they already divorced.
So fresh, so fresh, so fresh, so fresh.
Assalamualaikum, salam sejahtera kepada rakan-rakan kreatif di luar sana. Selamat datang, anda sekarang sedang menonton Kongsi Talkshow, di mana setiap episod di dalam Kongsi Talkshow ni kita akan invite guest speaker dan kita akan membincangkan ataupun kita akan bercerita tentang pengalaman dari setiap guest speaker yang kita jemput tu. Untuk pengetahuan semua, Kongsi Talkshow ni akan dikeudarakan di channel YouTube setiap minggu, dan setiap minggu tu kita akan bertukar-tukar topik bersama dengan guest speaker yang lain lah. Jadi untuk hari ini kita akan bersama seorang tetamu. Kita akan minta dia kenalkan diri dia sendiri. So take it away.
Right. Saya Jai dari Image Center, founding director of Image Center. Hari ini saya di sini untuk share my knowledge on photography and video industry dalam bidang perkahwinan, wedding. So, yeah, that's it.
Okay, Jay. Macam ni lah, Jay. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself? Macam mana you start doing the photography and before the photography?
Okay, pretty much. Okay, everybody there's a journey before they start everything. Right? Okay, actually, I did my degree in software engineering in USM. I did my training program in Stanford, then end up in USM, and then I was working in Maxis.
Oh, okay.
Maxis. I was working in Maxis about almost 6 months plus after my degree. So I got a job there as a software engineer. Then I was working there, and meanwhile, my interest was more focused on designing, more to visual arts. And on early days, I used to do designing je. I tak pernah sentuh kamera. I tak pernah I've never thought I'd be a photographer actually. That time I was a website designer. I was doing freelance website designing dengan graphic designing. So I used to walk into every studio and ask for designing job, editing job. I used to do video editing and everything. End up one fine day, one of my friend can be said as mentor. He's an event organizer. Okay. So he suggested me, why don't you open up a small designing studio in Brickfields. That time Brickfields hot hub for Indian weddings, Indian market lah. So this is back in 2009. So what I did, I went and rent out a small space in a office, in a studio. It was a photography studio named Rinda. And that particular owner of Rinda actually also my sifu in photography. He's an old timer now. He's 60 years old. Back about 15 years back, he was in his peak. So what he did, since I rented out the small unit in his space, during free time he used to bring me for photography.
Okay.
During my free time, he said, "Hey, just follow me for photography and learn video." I think I used to follow him. He used to teach me and everything. Slowly, over the days, my interest from designing changed into photography and video. That started the journey. So this starts back in 2009, and slowly after I stopped working in Maxis.
Oh, okay.
I needed more time in my photography and designing job, and of course, the income was better than the full-time job that time. Then back in that time, my basic was only 1,007 something.
Oh, okay.
So the first time you join work, so what I did then, I was earning slightly better in photography side. So then I stopped working Axis. Then I started to focus on this freelance job. I was a freelancer until mid of 2010. Then that's where I started the company, Image Hunter.
Okay.
Then I started very small scale weddings. I went through a lot in the beginning days, as everybody go through the same process, I think. But in beginning days, like I used to charge very, very low, and I've been, sometimes some people don't even pay. All these things happen like the beginning days, right? So for the knowledge, we need to gain some knowledge and everything. So slowly, it was processed from 2010. Now it's 2024. It's journey of let's say it's from 2009. It's about 15 years journey. 15 years journey.
So I have one cliche question lah. I think semua orang akan tanya benda yang sama kan dekat mana-mana fotografer. What camera you use?
Okay, I started with Nikon.
Okay.
Nikon D70.
Oh, okay.
D70.
Nice
D70,
color.
yeah.
Nice color.
D70, and then I went to D70S. Until now, right now I'm using Z6 Mark II. Still stick with Nikon. I'm eyeing on Z8 actually. Like hopefully.
Good luck, Ben.
Thank you.
So itu dia, kita dah dengar sedikit introduction daripada, kita panggil J lah, senang kan. So mesti semua orang dekat luar sana macam tertanya-tanya, because when we talk about visual, everybody wants to see the visual.
Yep. Right.
So kalau if you don't mind to share.
Yeah. Can. This is one of my recent jobs actually.
Right, wedding shots. Why? Kita punya session ni, kalau korang tengok, dia akan nampak macam unprepared lah apa semua, but kita yang intentionally nak dia macam ni. So nampak dia lebih santai, lebih relax. Kita tak nak dia terlalu macam nampak macam program yang sangat serius kan. Because kita nak bercerita tentang creative industry, so kita nak dia lebih santai semua. Kita tengok kalau
relax.
Tengok kalau kita jadikan dia full semua ni. Okay, ataupun kita tengok video dulu lah.
சின்னமணி குயிலே நல்ல வறுமையிலே எங்கே ஓஞ்சோடி நான் போற தேடி எங்கே ஓஞ்சோடி நாம கேட்டாதான் பதிலும் சொல்லாம குக்கு எனக்கு அதே நடி கண்மணி பதில் சொல்லு நீ சொல்லு
Some retro concept lah.
Oh, okay.
பட்டு துணியுடுத்தி
I didn't prepare much on samples. Just some random samples from my hard disk.
எட்டு அடி எடுத்து எட்டி நடந்த புள்ள
The concept 70s lah.
உசல காத்தில்
Where's the location?
எனச்சும் சேர்ந்தாட
Oh, okay.
உன் கூந்தல் வாசம் பார்த்து என்னோ கூத்தாட மரப்பு சேலையில போல இருக்க சாமிய வேண்டுற கண்மணி பதில் சொல்லு நீ
just fun stuff. So you just
நல்ல வறுமையிலே எங்கே உன் ஜோடி நான் போறேன்
Actually,
தேடி
I think this is the
எங்கே
most
உன்
important thing.
ஜோடி இல்லாம
Kita ni adalah salah seorang dari wedding photographer. We have to, ada idea yang lebih banyak untuk nak tackle our customers. Kan?
correct.
So, based on your experience lah kan, if you could share to us, kita ambil yang the worst dulu lah.
Okay. Motorbike yang sama tadi.
Alright, based on your experience lah, kalau you boleh, if you don't mind to share with us ya, kita ambil yang the worst.
The worst.
The worst.
I've experienced with, okay, this is kind of, I've never shared anywhere else before. Okay, maybe probably this is the first time I'm sharing to the public. Back in, okay, I don't want to mention who's the person and everything. Back in 2011 or 12, I can't really recall. There was one VIP customer.
Okay.
There was one VIP customer that a very big profile client, and I did their wedding. It was a very huge amount. I can say one of my beginning days first big project.
Okay.
So what happened, I put my heart and soul, everything. I did a good job. There was a lot of pre-wedding. Sometimes Indians, they do pre-wedding, like, sometimes in Malay industry we call it post-wedding.
Yeah,
It's like two different things. Like, so I did a lot of pre-wedding that time. So what happened, I went to Langkawi, went to Genting, many places, huge of
Just to do
the concept, and it was at that point, at that technology, that time of equipment, it was can consider it was a good project. And then I did the wedding, reception, everything was grand and everything, without taking a single cent.
Wow.
Without taking any deposit. Because that time I don't have much experience in business, that time setakat dapat peluang dah okay dah. Okay. So and then we trust them because I hand client, and then what happened, everything done, everything gone, and I'm trying to call them. They started to blame me, the photos didn't turn out well, you didn't do a good job, and I think they will keep telling, and then they never mention anything about the payment. A lot of things happen. Even I already delivered the albums also. My cost itself was very high at the time, like every event, engagement, wedding, they have a lot of events, everything that comes with the album, also pre-wedding, videos, photo, everything. It was very big sum of money, and we are having some issues. Started to post on social media and all these things. She was like having, and then what happened? After few months, I got to know they already divorced.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Within about 2-3 months, the couples are no more together.
Okay.
So mangsa lah.
So guys, dengar lah. Ni pengalaman macam ni kan, actually akan buka mata kita. Tak kisahlah kita lama atau baru, but mostly newcomers, kita kena aware about the business knowledge, business thinking, so that betapa pentingnya knowledge yang macam ni yang mostly kita pandang sangat ringan.
Yeah.
Because of macam you cakap, kita ada trust dengan client, but then we don't even know them.
Yeah.
But kita bondkan trust tu because of kita nak peluang ni.
Correct.
Actually, based on your story, I think semua orang pernah merasa benda yang sama.
Yeah,
maybe
mostly in a different situation. Yeah.
So ni antara sebabnya kita buat talk show ni, supaya the knowledge sharing tu sampai lebih cepat kepada semua kawan-kawan. Jadi dia tak adalah macam yes, we need to do more study about business lah, senang cerita. So supaya kita tak kena tipu lah. Because of, I think the main issue right now is most of us dalam creative industry ni kan, kebiasaannya kita akan dipandang macam we are the last option lah.
Last option. Yes, especially in event, we are the one who get the payment last. We are the one treated. We have to be the first one to be the event. We are the last one to leave the event, and then we are the last one to be paid because everyone, let's say decoration people, catering, makeup artists, whatever, they will collect the payment on the day itself. Their job is done. Ours is still going on until the day we're going to deliver the job. So, and in between we'll face a lot of issues. Sometimes it's not easy for us to, everybody, we was talking about it just now itself. Everybody from inside, as a photographer, as a visual artist, they have their own feeling. Mm-hmm. They want to bring up what actually they love to deliver. So what happened in between is every customer here, they have about different experience. Myself, I've actually covered almost 2,000 events by now. 2,000 events. Almost. I think about 1,008 to 2,000 events. Okay. Around in the range of 1,008 to 2,000 events. So I've seen a lot of customers, different type of mindset people. Even some people, they will come and sit beside me. No, you don't do edit anything. Let me come and sit beside you today. I will try my best to avoid them because I know I'm losing my freedom. I'm losing my creativity there. End of the day, okay, they'll sit beside me. Oh, do this, change this. Okay, this color, okay. And then end of the day, when I deliver the album, I know like this album really looks like, okay, as long they're happy, okay. As long you're paying me, it's your event, then I'm okay. Sometimes in the industry, sometimes we are locked. In event especially, we are locked. We are not given a proper opportunity to deliver from our heart. Sometimes it's more to what the client like. This is the setback of wedding industry actually.
So because to be, I think I've been through a lot of meetings with client yang end up dia akan cakap, oh okay Shai, actually kita tak plan pun berapa budget for photo and video. So guys, that is the saddest part of being a photographer or videographer or in creative industry. So untuk pengetahuan korang, talk show ni kita nak buat dia lebih open so that kita tak ada nak tapis-tapis ke apa kan. This is maybe the platform kita nak buat untuk creative industry people ni boleh share, bukan sekadar knowledge but share kita punya heart and soul tu, di mana bila kita dipergunakan dengan tanpa belaisan. Because being for myself, I'm a photojournalist. So being a photojournalist is, sometimes we are being treated like kita ni tak wujud pun.
Correct. Sometimes end of the day, they when they see the result, the sad part is sometimes in the event, I'll take a nice photo. Even okay, let's say I can do the same photo with my 5 years, 10 years back camera and the current camera with the lighting. As well about lighting and color. Then I'll show them the picture. Wow, you have a good camera.
That's always about the equipment. Yes, we know the equipment tu membantu untuk kita produce a good result. But then I think semua orang kan setuju dengan konsep di mana bila orang di belakang kamera tu tak tahu apa-apa, so dia pakai kamera yang $100,000 pun tak jadi apa.
Correct.
Am I right?
They don't give the value for people nowadays. Since the technology, AI is coming in, they're taking it very, very easy. Of course, AI is helping us in a certain level. But I still feel even 10 years to come or 20 years, 30 years to come, the person who going to capture that maybe the version will upgrade lah.
Yeah,
Knowledge ni kita mungkin yang 20 tahun depan, yang photographer tu maybe lebih knowledgeable because of the technology, the latest technology. But I think it's still going to be the person behind the camera, not the AI ke apa.
Yeah, betul. Because I think semua orang akan bersetuju dengan konsep di mana we cannot tolak the technology because kita hidup dalam dunia yang semakin maju, but then it I think it depends on the person itself. Macam mana dia nak control everything so that dia takkan overpower the mind yang kita dah curahkan dalam kita punya artwork kan. Okay, kita nak pergi ke soalan yang deep sikit lah.
Okay.
Kan? So actually, what is your ideology dalam visual?
Ideology. Okay, on visuals, on weddings. Okay, if my style, okay, everybody does a style of taking. I love to play with colors.
Okay.
Especially, Indian weddings is colorful and all these things. Mostly, I'm into Indian wedding. I do other races as well. I do multiracial, like Malay weddings, Chinese weddings, Punjabi, and all these things. I've even done Iban weddings before. So,
Nice.
So I love to do weddings. I like to capture people, but when it comes to the ideology, the feel behind what I like to create is more to color. And basically, I like to use prime lens. Okay, prime lens. I love doing bokeh. Bokeh. My favorite is actually a bokeh. I think it's been almost can tell. Okay, my team. If my team is watching this, they know this. My team. It's been almost, I think, more than ever since after lockdown. I can say I will never touch zoom lens for events.
Okay.
I never touched zoom lens. Or throughout 35, 50, 85, 105.
Nice.
I just
range.
play around with. I love bokeh. So even kadang-kadang pergi event, I start 50, I finish with 50. So that's I feel like to create portrait, to create a kind of feel, we need the portrait lens, the prime lens. And I have a story behind this as well.
Okay.
For prime lens. Back in 2010, 11, 12, I used to. Okay, that time I started to use bokeh prime lens because tak cukup budget.
Okay.
I akan bawa 50mm je. Setakat berapa? 600 je kan lens tu. 600. Kadang-kadang I tengok fotografer, kenapa kamu pakai ada kit lens dengan 50mm je? So dia orang akan tanya, kenapa kamu pakai? For me that time, I trained myself with prime. At one point, prime is started to become my prime. So orang akan tanya lah, kenapa kamu pakai prime? I akan cakap, that time using prime is a mistake. Theoretically, when come to theory, is mistake. So they used to eject me lah. Macam mana nak cover satu event guna 50mm? I'll tell lah, I'm just training. It's just my style of taking. I used to cover a lot. Most of my events I covered 50. And until I doubt myself whether I'm doing a right job. And especially in Indian industry, I can tell 70%, I don't know, maybe now 50% to 60% event photographers, they use prime for event. Back in, I think 2010, you also must be aware. That time, when you use prime, it's just for studio. When just to take portrait, they don't really encourage in events. So I would say, I'm not sure, but as far as I know, I was one of the person in Indian industry. I was using prime all the way.
Oh, nice.
Prime all the way. From day one. Now there's a lot of companies that started to use.
We have a lot in common actually, because I'm a prime user as well. But bila I start shoot news, I need to change a little bit because news kan. But before that, everything is prime. My docu, my event coverage, my portraits, and
that's where
everything.
the feel comes in.
Yeah. I love, because some of the people, asking me the same question, why using prime lens, tak susah ke macam, my side of ideology pula, bila I guna prime lens, prime lens tu mengajar I untuk break the limitation.
Correct.
Dia akan bagi kita jadi rajin.
Yeah,
Am I right?
yeah. We at Zoom.
Yeah.
You go front, move around. Yeah. You keep yourself active in the event.
Yeah. And then kita akan lagi dekat dengan subject and all that. But I know some of the people they don't agree with this.
Yeah. Still.
Yeah.
People. Still
But
argue with my friends.
Perkara macam ni to me is a bit subjective.
Yeah. We cannot win the argument because it's end of the day it's like everybody have their own style.
Yeah. The most important thing kita deliver. That's all. Right.
Correct.
Okay. Guys, so kalau korang ada apa-apa soalan, korang ada apa-apa cadangan, korang boleh komen je dekat page YouTube channel Kongsi Talkshow ni, dan kita akan cuba baca dan untuk maybe akan memenuhi kalau korang ada apa-apa permintaan, siapa-siapa guest artis sangat guest speaker yang korang nak dengar dia bercerita tentang pengalaman dia, korang boleh cadangkan saja, jangan risau, jangan apa, kita open to public. Dan kalau rasanya ada siapa-siapa yang nak mencuba untuk duduk di tempat saya ni, boleh juga bagi cadangan. So by the way, actually sepatutnya benda ni kita cakap daripada awal tadi, but then bagus juga cakap di pertengah-pertengahan ni kan. So kalau korang tengok visual sekarang ni korang berada di dalam Kongsi Hub KL, di mana saya adalah orang yang bertanggungjawab untuk membangunkan Kongsi Hub ni. Dan terima kasih juga kepada rakan-rakan yang lain seperti Foto Momo yang orang kata apa, bring up this idea untuk buat the Kongsi Talkshow ni. Dan kita perlukan support supaya Kongsi Talkshow ni akan berjalan sampai kita dapat spread, bukan sekadar dalam Malaysia kan. Maybe Kongsi Talkshow ni kita by language campur-campur kan. Maybe in future mana tahu ada yang kita boleh convert everything in English. Who knows. Okay, kita ada beberapa soalan lagi untuk Jay actually. Actually, what is your hope and dreams?
Okay, for this industry. Okay, to be frank, I have a very big visions. I still believe I have a long way to go. I believe I'm still young. And then vision, what is my target? Okay, for me, for what current every time our targets change. Sometimes our vision we change according to the situation, right? So at the moment, my plan is like I want to cut down the number of events that I'm going to take. Kalau boleh lah. For my experience, I believe I want to go more on premium packages.
Okay.
Premium packages. But I still will do for normal people. For my previous customers, I do respect them. For the previous customers, let's say for their brothers, the family, I'll still do. Probably I won't go for new network. I will plan to go for premium packages. Like rather than doing 2 or 3 events per day, I plan to do 1 event, focus my whole team there. Let's say currently we are having 2 photographers, 2 videographers for single event. Probably that time we want to focus on 4 photographers, 4 videographers for per event. Focus on the output. Focus more on the quality of the program, quality of the event, and pre-plan. It's a trend. I've been following some companies, some international wedding companies. They pre-plan the wedding. They work together with the wedding planner. Everything. This is one. And I also want to build a team more to academy base.
Nice.
More to academy base. This is my long-term plan. Retirement plan, or whatever we can call it. So I want to have my minor, a small academy where people can learn from me. Maybe I can work together with any maybe Adobe Premiere or something like
nice.
And like This is my dream. Apart from that, yeah, the next step, I also plan to go into production, because wedding is slightly getting boring, slightly
Yeah,
getting
yeah, yeah.
boring. So I think, it's the process. I think it's the process, right? I think already here in 15 years. So I'm interested nowadays. I'm more interested in, when it comes to production, I'm more interested in documentaries. No movies, no, not, not what they call it, not movie side,
Okay,
not
okay.
on the movie, not on the film, more to documentaries or maybe lifestyle or something like that. I've been called few times. I've been given opportunity few times. I cannot commit into that because, right now wedding is the rice bowl. So I cannot step into two side, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like I need to plan properly. So at the moment, I think the process is going on. The process is going on slow and steady. I'm not rushing into this, but maybe slowly I will divert slowly and make it premium and slowly go into other things.
It's a good plan though. So guys, tadi kita dah dengar pengalaman, the worst pengalaman daripada J. Kita nak dengar pengalaman paling best lah sepanjang
Oh, best,
penglibatan,
best,
ya.
best. I have many actually. Actually, yeah, always the negative part is actually we don't give energy to
Yeah,
the negative side. But when it comes to positive side, actually I have a lot of good clients. A lot of them, I become family photographer for most of them. From 2010, some of them I shoot for the, brother, the elder brother. I covered about 5-6 weddings in their family until the last one.
Okay.
So I become the family photographer for most of the families. And best, best moments mostly on pre-weddings. A lot of best moments actually. I've made bride and groom cry a few times, showing the visuals
Yeah,
in their
yeah.
wedding receptions. That is more than the money lah, actually. That's the best gift ever.
Yeah. I think that is the maybe macam bonus dari bayaran yang kita dapat lah.
Yeah.
If
So
we've been
a
treated
lot
like
of
that.
time. Even recently, I did a wedding. This is an interracial wedding. The girl is local Indian. He's from Russia.
Wow.
We met someone Russian. Then I did the wedding. Both of them actually cried,
Nice.
on the wedding event, and many, and a lot of, the best moment I would say most of the time is the feedback, good feedback from the
Yeah.
customers. The feedback. Some of them, they even bring me out after the event. They call me for a party, call me for dinner, all these things. So all that is, I would say, all of that is actually good moments in my career.
Okay, kita nak tengok sekali lagi snippet sikit gambar-gambar daripada Jane sebelum kita ke soalan yang terakhir. Right. Thanks. Kalau ada colour.
Yes. It's PD ni. Ni pantai Morik je.
Okay. No, actually
This
kita
couple,
ada banyak location yang best tau untuk photoshoot.
we actually overlook. Actually, to be frank, the photo is not here.
Oh.
Even kelapa sawit, ladang kelapa. Some of our structure is good enough already.
Yeah.
Actually, we have a lot of lombong yang terbiar kan. Ada dekat sini ada satu gambar. Even that we can make it as a, some people they say, ni dalam hutan, lombong je setakat lombong. Tapi actually, if we really go into that, actually we can make that as a lake toba.
Yeah.
This is Fraser.
Oh, okay.
Ni Bukit Bereke, Ipoh.
Oh, Ipoh.
Sungai Situ. This is the lake behind there. Is this? This side.
Nice. Okay,
This
Jay.
is snake patch.
Kita sebagai soalan terakhir ni, could you share with us, maybe to viewer kan, advice for newcomers yang nak jadi wedding photographers, what they need to do actually?
Okay. For those who are interested into wedding photography, especially events, I would say actually Generation Z and Generation
Yeah.
the following generations.
We live in different generation actually. Yeah.
I would say I have a lot of trainees who come in, a lot of people who follow me for photography, and a lot of teams will come and go. Some of editors, designers will come and go. What I find in current generation, it's not negative. You can take it positive. That's actually up and down.
Yeah.
Don't take things for granted. Actually, nothing comes easy. Actually,
Yeah.
For them, for current generation, I mean, I'm talking about from my point of view. It's like the direct,
Mhm.
So we just talk from our heart. Okay. So my point of view, majority is maybe about 80%, 70% of this current generation, they actually give up fast. And then they keep jumping, like from this to this, to this to this. And they don't have the mentorship. They don't follow somebody, especially these people, they don't want to follow anybody.
Okay.
They want to stand on their own, setakat dah ada ChatGPT, YouTube. They think everything is easy. They don't see the hard part where the previous generation actually went through. And I memang regret I tak born dalam generation Z. Things might have very easy for me. Because competition sekarang memang senang.
Yeah.
The current generation, I'm talking about the latest generation. I'm not talking about 30s. 30s is today tough. They are tough people. I'm talking about the 20s to 25. Actually, those who just coming into the field, I find like lembut sangat. They need to be more tough, more experiment. They need to go more on not to give up and be humble. I think whatever you want to learn, how far you want to go is actually depending on how humble you are.
Yep.
So the lacking part is because I train a lot of people. I've experienced a lot of things. I just sharing one experience here. When I want to learn from somebody, I would go any down that time.
Okay.
I call them, I with respect, humble, put myself down. Even that time, our knowledge might be better than the mentor. Certain things we might know, certain things because we learn, we keep learning. So maybe better than. But I don't tell. I know this, I know that. I will put myself down. I'll say like I will still learn from them. I will because it's not easy to get their experience.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Maybe today we can learn in YouTube. We can learn anything in ChatGPT, Google, anything. But sometimes the actual knowledge is much more better than what we learn from all these things. So what happened from my experience, I used to have newcomers.
Mm-hmm.
I'll message them professionally and everything. Boys who are 22, 23, 21, straight, bro. They won't use any bro. I'm using this camera. Okay, can I follow you for events? Sometimes I takut juga sebab kamera generation sekarang dia more to gadget freak.
Mm-hmm.
So this straight will very high hand cameras, and then they come. Sometimes they cannot perform. They feel like, hey, even I use this camera, I cannot perform. Sometimes they don't put trust on themselves.
Yeah.
So I went through these kind of things, and sometimes parents after education, I think parents have to let go the kids.
Yeah.
Have to let go. I have experience. I do take internship students. sometimes the parents will come and sit there, look at them what they are doing. Sometimes they will advise me, no, please send them back early. Okay, they cannot work too long. He's getting stressed in the house. All this I've went through. Some of them they will bring in these people. Hey, this I need to be direct. I have experience from previous one of my internship student where the mother sent him to work, and then they called me and tell, my son have actually health issues, so don't give him too much of pressure. So that's why I say it's a very easy generation.
Yeah.
Memang saya rasa kalau kita dulu generation yang hard work, kita buat the same hard work that we used to put, if they can put in this generation, I think they can really do it.
I think they can be better than us.
Yes, they can really
because maybe waktu zaman kita punya striving tu dari segi how we collect all the money to buy all the fancy equipments and then travelling, build up portfolio and all that. And dulu I think nak cari cikgu pun susah.
Correct.
Bukan susah in terms of tak ada cikgu.
We actually born in the transitional period also, from film to so we cannot find the right person at that time.
And then some of the cikgu dia ada terms dia pula macam, oh, if you want to learn from me, you have to do something for me and then I can teach you.
Correct.
But then I didn't take it yang dari sudut yang buruk lah. But to me itu adalah the learning process. Maybe itu test untuk kita jadi lebih semangat kan. But then I setuju dengan apa yang you cakap tadi, because of younger generation ni, they are good. They are actually good. They have you know more than creative ideas yang kita boleh fikir.
Correct.
Yeah.
Sometimes the ideas is super good. Just that the way they bring themselves, they need to do it better. How they bring themselves, the confidence level, and being humble and learn something fully, not half-boiled. You know, sometimes they are, because I don't tell everybody 70%.
Yeah.
70% of them, but still they are good. I would say on the positive side, we still have a lot of good people. Some of my boys, the team boys, are also good, 20+. But mostly it's very hard to handle. I think they're not the crazy kids lah nowadays.
Alright guys, kita dah sampai penghujung segmen. InsyaAllah ada rezeki kita akan berjumpa di segmen akan datang bersama dengan guest speaker yang lain. So for today, thank you so much, Jay.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for calling me for Kongsi Talkshow, and I'm really glad I'm being a part of this show. Thank you again for all the opportunity given to me. Thank you for all the crew and those who involved in this. Thanks so much for bringing me here. Thank you.
So guys, just remember, nak jadi orang, nak hidup dalam creative industry ni, you have to be brave, you have to have a brain, knowledge yang paling penting, and lastly, be happy. So insyaAllah kita jumpa lagi di Kongsi Talkshow segmen akan datang. Assalamualaikum.
So fresh, so fresh, so fresh.